Cheers folks and welcome to my channel. It is the second war of Alliance War Season 6 and if you have seen the video of the first war, then very sadly you will have seen that we didn't start the Season 2 successfully. But that just means one thing, and that means that we have to, as of now, win every single war that's coming along. And the next war that we had to fight now in the second war of the season was against this Chinese alliance. I cannot pronounce the name. I cannot tell you exactly what they are called. It's a Chinese alliance. And they have been ranked in Platinum 1 last season and currently also, according to War Rating, are a top 50 alliance. And to be quite honest, if you are a top 50 alliance, the rosters and the portfolios of champions that you have pretty much not such a huge difference. So all defenses on that level are really dangerous and are really to watch out for, and you really have to make sure that you don't die on your path. And also I introduced last war as a first time ever my new rank 5 Corvus Glaive. And as a new first time ever, I actually paired him this time with a new team that consists of Corvus Glaive, Proxima Midnight and Nebula, which has some quite fantastic synergies, to be honest. And I was again assigned to path number 1. But also this time, it was the first time ever that I was going all the way, including the final boss at the very end. And you will see the reason in just a moment. Now, to start off my path, I actually talked to my teammate to let me take path 2 in the very first section. And the reason is that on this path, on node number 2, there was a mutant champ. And of course, Mutant Champ give a charge to Corvus Glaive. Node number 2 is a strike back node, so whenever you use a special attack, your opponent gains 1 bar of power, and also there's a chance for them to get a Fury boost. Also a duped 6-star. I think actually in this war it was the war with the highest amount of duped 6-star that I've ever fought in any war. And the first one turned out to be Storm. Now I like Storm because I think that her specials, especially her special 1, very easy to evade. So you just do your normal stuff with Corvus Glaive, you parry, you hit, you wait until she has her special 1, you let her fire off her special 1, and then wait until you yourself go to a special 2, and with that special 2, the fight usually is over. And the first fight against Mutant Champion means the first persistent charge for Corvus Glaive. So now he has 1 charge for a Mutant Champion that was knocked. And then after that, I just continued on my normal path 1. Because the next champ on node number 19, fortunately for me, was a tech champ, which means the second charge for Corvus Glaive, if I win the fight. And node number 19, critical buff node, enhanced critical buffs, enhanced crits, critical rate, critical damage, 40% more effective, and also ESO infused, meaning 125% more attack and health. Still only 36,000 health. That usually is an indication for a 6-star champ that it is a Rocket Raccoon. So that fight should go rather quickly. You parry stun and then it's over after 9 hits. And that's because Corvus already had his first persistent charge. And now after this fight, Corvus has 2 persistent charges. And that was the fights for the evening. And as you know, European time zone, so that's the first part always in the evening, and then I continue in the morning. And in the morning, I continued again on the node number 25, which is a poison node, meaning that opponent inflicts poison, draining 100% of health over 60 seconds. Poison abilities are enhanced by 40%. You lose yourself power every 25 seconds. And that node has 250% extra attack and 150% extra health. And the reason, that's basically the reason why I brought Nebula, There's another mutant champ on that node, so Nebula has class advantage. Nebula has fantastic synergies with Proxima, where from the start she gains 10 electro charges. And of course she's poison immune, so she's not affected by this at all. And I could fight because I knew that this was not going to be a bishop. A bishop would have probably been a little bit risky, because then the electro charges actually charge up his power level, and then he gets quite powerful. But it was a 6-star, again, duped beast. And on top, that one was placed with suicides. So himself suffering from poison and suffering from recoil every time using a special attack. And then, quite honestly, that fight is over very, very quickly. You inflict those first 10 electro charges at the beginning of the fight. And then with the suicide mastery, that opponent was down very, very quickly. So, yeah, perfect synergy, Corvus, Proxima, and Nebula, and very useful because then Nebula on this node as a poison immune champion and with class advantage, absolutely perfect. And then moving on to node number 46 is a power gain node, gains power gain by plus 100%, has 175% extra attack and extra health, and has Optimist and Outlast, meaning towards the end of the fight, the last 25 to 20%, gains Fury, Armor Up, Health Steal, and also reduces damage by up to 20% based on how much health is left. And there, to my big surprise, because usually I think, you know, this is a node for Iron Man Infinity War, could always be, but in this case it was actually a Vision. And Vision, for all of you, is a Avenger. And Avenger, if you know Corvus Glaive, gives a third mission to Corvus Glaive. So knocking down an Avenger means that now Corvus Glaive has actually 3 persistent charges. So I could move on with Corvus Glaive to the next node, which is the Special 1 node with Enhanced Special 1, damage by 30%, and also is unblockable, and a tendency to fire off extra Special 1s, and also if the Special 1 hits, you get power drained, and the champ boost is plus 225% attack and also 200% health. And what I do for this always, as you see, I change my masteries now, because before I didn't have the, was it pacify masteries? So now what I do is I actually master up, rank up Petrify. Now it's Petrify. I rank up Petrify. Petrify means that when your opponent is stunned, they gain less power and also less regeneration. But in this case, what's important is they gain less power. So because now Corvus Glaive has 3 charges, what I want to do is I want to try to keep them below that Special 1 power bar and actually finish them before they get there. And the way you do that is when you parry stun your opponent and you have Petrify mastered at max, you can hit them, let's say, 4 times usually, twice in a row, and they would still be below that 1 bar of power. And then the next round you do a 5 combo and use your Special 1, and usually with, let's say, 13, 14, 15 hits with Corvus Glaive with 3 charges, that's absolutely enough to get your opponent down. And you see here I keep him just below that bar of power, and now I finish with my special, and he doesn't even get to his Special 1 because Corvus Glaive just gets him down too quickly. So that is a strategy that you can use against this node. Just get them just below that 1 bar of power, and then try to finish them, or then actually even try to get them already to their Special 2 that you can also try to do. And then comes node number 50. Number 50 is a tricky one because it has 400% extra health, 200% extra attack, and is Bane. And Bane means that when you hit the opponent, you inflict degeneration on them. And degeneration is based on how much health your opponent still has. And after a while it turns, so after a while the degeneration passes on to yourself. So again, the more health your opponent has, the stronger is the degeneration. And usually a 6-star non-dupe champion here is Nightcrawler, because he's very tricky. He evades, you can't always renew the Bane curse on him so easily. So what I do is I took a power bar boost. So I started the fight with 1 bar of power, so that basically after he evaded, I could hit him with a special 1 attack. And what happens then is that I gain true damage. True damage meaning he cannot evade anymore. And the reason that is because I have Proxima on the team and that synergy. So it's actually the best way to fight Nightcrawler. Have him evade once and then hit him with your special attack. And that actually gave me persistent charge number 4. So now I'm having 4 persistent charges for the mini-boss, which is a Gladiator Hulk. And the mini-boss here is also Enhanced Special 1, 30% more damage plus unblockable. And also it's a stun immune champion. And then the last important fact about Gladiator Hulk is that he also is a Avenger. And since I have knocked down Vision earlier, I have the Avenger mission, which means not only do I have 4 persistent charges, but on top I get 30 glaive charges at the beginning of the fight instead of the usual 20. And what I also have here, besides the normal what I call rainbow boost, the 3-color boost, is a 150% boost for my special 2 and special 3, and also a power start boost, which means I start the fight with 1 bar of power. What I want to do is I want to try as quickly as possible to fire off my special 2 when I still have a lot of glaive charges left. And you see he hits like a truck how much damage he does to Gladiator Hulk mini boss. And here's the special 2, and I'm almost, again, because of that 150% boost, I'm almost getting a full special attack 2 after this back. And I can just rinse, repeat, and another special 2. And it's 21 hits, 2 special 2 attacks, and Gladiator Hulk is down. Very quick fight. Very quick fight. It was a rank 4 Gladiator Hulk, not a rank 5, but still. Very, very quick. And then the final boss was Iceman. And the final boss also is stun immune. He builds physical resistance and energy resistance in the adaptive mode. He has true strike. Plus he has 700% extra health. And the reason why I started this fight very quickly is because I still had that power up boost. So I started the fight with 1 bar of power. And as you also know, when Corvus Glaive has his glaive charges, he is immune to Cold Snap. So that dangerous part in the beginning where Iceman takes a lot of your health due to Cold Snap doesn't happen to Corvus Glaive because Corvus Glaive is immune. And I was able to fire off my special 2 very quickly, as you could see. And then was a long period actually, which was quite annoying, where Iceman did not fire off his special. Now I was really getting worried because I didn't want to get cornered in my corner of the map, but he wouldn't fire off his special. And what I did wrong is I should have hit his block once or twice just to get him a little bit out of my corner. But then I decided to actually let him get me to my special 2 when he is at maximum power himself. Because what happens with Corvus Glaive is when he fires off his special 2, when his opponent is at maximum power, then he power drains him down to power level special 2. And then after that, after I power drained him, then he fired off his special 2 finally. And then I was also able to finally have a normal fight again. Now, unfortunately, because of that 150% boost, and it was not a 200% boost that I had, I didn't get a third special 2 while I still had my glaive charges. I'd say when you take a 200% boost, then you could easily get to a third special 2, but I didn't, so I had to go through this whole period where Corvus Glaive did not have any charges, and that's when he hits more like a baby. When he has his glaive charges and 4 persistent charges, he hits like a truck, but then when he doesn't and he has no crit damage, then he hits really like a baby. So I had to get over this whole period, and now he's getting his critical hits back, and also I get my special 2 back, and suddenly it's boom, 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 and Iceman is down. But it took a bit longer than I had expected, but also, again, I didn't have the perfect boosts for him. I only recently ranked 5 him, so I will have to stash up those 200% boosts for Corvus Glaive, and that I will do in the future. But still, it was my first final boss for a very, very long time, and a perfect ending to a perfect path with a mini-boss, 4 persistent charges, a final boss fight, and no death on my path. And also the overall war, that much I can say, we won the war. It was as successful as my path. We won it actually by quite a bit of distance in death count, and I hope that this really is now the beginning of a perfect season until the very end, and that we can still manage to get to top 3 end of the season. So keep fingers crossed for us, and I will share the next war videos very soon. If you liked the video, happy to give it a like. If you are new to the channel and would like to see more war videos like this in the future, stay tuned and hit the subscribe button. And I hope to see you all very, very soon on my channel. Cheers, folks.